I'll just jump start into the session because we have limited time. We often hear that we're living in an era of disruptive technologies that changed the way we live, do businesses, and interact with each other. But a wise man once said, there's no such thing as bad weather, only unsuitable clothing. So similarly, one could argue that there's no disruptive technologies, only businesses that are not future-proof. Because if harnessed efficiently, technologies would not be a disruption for you. Rather, it would be a facilitation that helps change the way traditional work processes are done to enhance efficiency, to reduce costs, to mitigate risk, and improve security. And in these recent years, we've seen technologies significantly transform the way of doing businesses, as well as the way the financial markets facilitates the storage and transfer of value, financing and investing. So this session brings you the experts who will share with you their perspectives on how fintech could help improve business results. And they'll share with you their direct experiences in successful corporate solutions that have been enabled by fintech. So please join me to welcome our lovely panelists today. They're sitting right over there. First, please welcome Kun Taveesuk Sayasilapee, Digital Strategy Vice President at PTT. Second, Ms. Sharon Yuen, Head of ASEAN Sales at R3. Third, Ms. Pintuwan Kleijssen, Head of Trade Finance Product Management at Bangkok Bank. And last but not least, Mr. Andy Lee, Founder and CEO of Silot. So please welcome everyone and please have a seat. So today's session is about fintech for the evolution of corporate solutions. So we're focusing on a few things: fintech, corporate solutions, and collaboration. Firstly, we've heard from yesterday's session 2, how building partnership is a key to success for digital transformation. So let me ask Kun Pintuwan first. In your view, how should an organization transform itself and adopt a collaborative approach to better respond to technological advancements and to achieve business goals in this digital era?
Thank you. First, I have to thank Bank of Thailand for allowing me to be on the stage and talk about these collaborations. Before we talk about how do we prepare ourselves, I just want to give you an overview of Bangkok Bank for someone who just come to Thailand. We are the leading bank in Thailand, in Southeast Asia. And the bank established about 74 years ago. I just want to emphasize that besides Thailand, we also have very deep root in 32 locations in 15 economic countries. We concentrate in ASEAN, Southeast Asia, and in some countries we are there over 60 years. We provide different solutions to all kind of customer segment, from consumer to corporates. As you can see that with the strategic locations, the cooperation we cannot only focus on the cooperation within Thailand. We also have to focus on the cooperation at the international level as well. To be able to enable our digital solutions, we have a few key digital solutions to power our ecosystem. First, we have digital solutions that we try to offer the seamless end-to-end client experience. And second, financial technology. We are one of the first Thailand Global FinTech Accelerator our InnoHub is the first Thailand accelerator. And we don't focus only in Thailand, but we focus also in ASEAN region as well. And for the next generation capabilities, we are the leading innovations providers. We also develop the new solutions, and we also deploy some of the solutions already. For example, machine learning and AI. Now we deploy these kind of capabilities in different operations segments, for example, marketing, campaign management, or compliance to detect fraud and prevent money laundering. So when we want to focus on how we going to transform our organizations, I just want to point out two things. We focus on our customer problems, and then we identify the technology that can address the problems. The digitalization is the integral part of our strategy, and it has been supported by the top management. For digital banking, we partner with Fintech and different technology providers. Yeah, R3 that's sitting next to me. Our management team made a strategic decision to join R3 a few years ago. And R3 provides us the collaboration environment. It's a healthy environment that we can work with our global peers. You can see that we operate in different countries around the world. So to be able to collaborate in the environment that everybody can work together, can share our mutual problems, and then come up with the mutual solutions. Next is the focus is on the update and enhance our customer channels. As you can see, the bank has been established for over 74 years ago. We have all kinds of different segments of customer, from the customer who still want to run on the physical branch and on papers, or the customer who really technology oriented. So all of this, we need to make sure that we already emphasize on different channels. And our goal is to bring customers with us. We're not going to leave anyone behind. And we're going to use the digital banking to improve our efficiency as well. In terms of people, how to prepare our staff. When you talk about the new technologies, some of these technologies are new to everyone. So we train our staff continuously, and actually like R3, they also provide different training. So some of these technologies are quite new. So one of the best ways to learn is to learn on the job. So we put our people on the real project and then come up with a new way of working together. Our team is a mix of all kinds of different people. We have people who, like me, work with the bank for so many years, accumulate experience over the year. And we have completely new generation, just graduated from the school, and look at the problem with different angles. So altogether, we come up with a new way of working. So we can address the problems that may be around for so many years, but with the new technologies and with the new way of looking at the problems. And also, we try to keep developing the new talents and try to reinforce with the ethical practice. So that is my first.
Thank you very much, Kun Pintuwan. And it seems like you have identified very clearly in digital transformation is collaboration is key, and not only within the organization. You mean you focus on the people, so collaboration internally as well as domestically with the stakeholders, as well as internationally.
May I add one thing? Yes. We mentioned R3 for international environment to provide us a cooperation environment. But in Thailand, I have to really mention Bank of Thailand, because they really provide the healthy environment for all of the banks to work together. We can identify the mutual problems, because normally banks, we are competitors. But they really put us together and come up with the collaborative environment that we can come up with the solution together.
That's a really good point. So the collaboration needs to extend beyond just the players, but even the regulators themselves to be able to collaborate and support the ecosystem. And we're very lucky that we're in Thailand that has regulators that really focus on collaboration and bringing in the industry together to enhance the overall industry.
And bank, we cannot operate on our own. We have to have a network, and we have to have ecosystem. So to put everybody together is a key to success.
Thank you very much. So next, actually the same question to Kun Taveesuk, but from another angle. So basically, what is your view on digital transformation for your company, as well as the collaboration approach that you take?
Okay. Because of PTT is not banking, we are energy company. So I would like to share you about what we use the digital in our company to help our business to gain the competitive in between the business. So starting with doing the corporate strategy, we understand that there is the critical factor that might impact to our business is like the mega trend. So we define that there are three major critical mega trend that might impact to our business. The first is the globalization and demographic. Because of right now, people move from the outside into the country, so it might have some opportunity that PTT can diverse our business, or maybe have a new business, something like that. And the second is the disruptive technology. For this, it might be digital, and also the Internet of Things, everything connect, right? And then also, I would like to tell you about what's the digital that might impact to PTT and what we imply or adapt or adopt the digital in our business in the next. And the third is resource stress. You know that because of right now, the resource of energy in Thailand, I mean in Gulf of Thailand, the natural gas is declining. So for PTT, we need to doing something. We might maybe invest in the new renewable energy. So that is the major mega trend that we need to adopt and to adjust ourselves. And I would like to focusing on the digitalized. For the digital transformation program, we did for 3 years. We have a big consulting that help us to form the digital transformation. And we do in a PTT group, a digital transformation, we already define in 5 teams. The first is operational excellence, because our PT group is a planned operation. So we would like to use the digital to reduce maybe the unplanned shutdown, because it's a very big amount losing. So we believe that if we use digital in the process, such as how to predict the downtime, reduce the downtime, it helps us to operate in excellent way, something like that. And for the second theme, the stakeholder intelligence, we try to use the big data and analytics in all stakeholder areas, such as how to know our customer insight, or how to know for the vendor insight, and also the employee insight. How can we keep or maintain our employee, something like that. And for the third is reincorporate function, how to reduce the operating costs. We use new technologies such as RPA or chatbot, something like that, to reduce the process. And for the fourth is the supply chain, because of PTT group is the chain, right? And we believe that if we can share the data across PTT group using maybe blockchain technology, then we can optimize the supply chain, something like that. And the last is the new S curve. We might know, or we might get the information inside and might be generate new service for PTT group. And that is like the hard side for technology. But we believe it. Hard side is not complete if we do not change the soft side. It might be organization and also the people. So we change like the culture. Actually, right now, PTT use the spirit as a core value. And then our CEO add digitalization to the core value. So right now it's changed from spirit to spirit plus D is digitalization. So this is like the thing that PTT working. And another thing, even we do like digital transformation for 3 years, and then we do not sure that it's success or not. So this year we asked the third party to assess about like the program. Is it success or not? And then we found that there's some gap. And the gap is the thing two major gap. The first is people, and the second is how to use the data in our organization. So this is like the becoming of like digital transformation program for next year. We try to like move our organization to be like data-driven organization, and then we need to like build our employee capability in digitals, and also like for the organization, we try to like build like the agile of working, the new way of working. It's like similar to BBL, right? That it's like focusing on the people and also like the way of working. So this is the thing that I try to share with you.
Thank you so much. So it's not a lot of many times that we'll get to hear, the digital transformation framework and roadmap of one of the largest corporates like PTT. So thank you very much for that. And I see that there's so many digital themes and digital enablers there. And one of the themes that stands out is the use of data to understand your business better, understand your stakeholders better within organization, outside organization, your customers, your markets, and your supply chain. So thank you very much for that. So let's now hear from the technology and solution providers. So to Sharon, what are your strategies in the evolution of fintech, and how does your company assist corporates in pursuing their digital transformation plan?
Hi, good morning, everyone. And firstly, a big thank you to BOT for inviting me. My name is Sharon, and I'm the head of ASEAN sales at R3. We are a blockchain company. We are an enterprise blockchain software company, and we build and maintain Coda. That's a blockchain platform developed specifically for businesses. The history of R3 is rather unique. Unlike a lot of technology firms, which actually built a product first and tried to sell it to customers, R3, we sort of started our company backwards. We actually started with our customers first. So during the first year when the company was formed, R3 researched on the blockchain technology in the market, and we quickly realized within the first year that none of the public blockchain in the industry was suitable and serve the needs. It doesn't serve the needs of highly regulated financial institutions. So this led us to build Coda, our blockchain platform, from the ground up. It meets the highly strict requirements from the banks, from the corporates, and for big enterprises. So in this way, we actually launched Coda open source in November 2016, and we launched the enterprise version last year. So at R3, we believe that blockchain technology is dependent on a network effect. So we actually work with a network of more than 300 companies to sort of drive industry-wide collaborations. Our partners and members include the banks, the exchanges, the regulators, the financial, the law firms as well, and we actually work with technology partners to build application running on Coda. So in this screen, you can actually see the technology partners that we work with. It includes the system integrators, the consultancies, the app builders, and also infrastructure providers. So we believe our partners and customers' success is also our success. And as Kun Pintuwan mentioned just now, we provide training, we provide support, because we believe implementation and support is key to driving a successful solution and implementation. Yeah. Thank you very much.
So thank you so much, Sharon. I think you have one problem. In the future, when this ecosystem expands, how do you put all the logos in one page?
Yes, exactly. We do not. So I'll show you a slide later where you can check out all the partners.
Oh, okay, okay. Thank you so much. So moving on to next question. So we've talked about the digital solution. Let's hear from the fintech solution provider, like Andy. Same question. As a fintech company, what are your strategies and how do you help your customers achieve their digital transformation goal?
Good morning, everyone. My name is Andy, the CEO of Silot. So from the name of Silot, it's meaning by using new technology to connect the silos. So we are an AI company trying to solve some problem in efficiency and decision making. So firstly, we are talking about how can we entering a digitalization stage. So the enterprise and the banks actually building a lot of silos during the different functionalities. So the data is fragmented and each operation flow is actually separate. So after that, they want to transform into intelligent age. So the decision making is relatively slow. So as a fintech AI company, we actually empower the banks first because financial institutions is in the middle of different industries. So indirectly, we're trying to empower with the enterprise to accelerate their decision making and also for business decisions. So for our product, we are making the intelligent decision making for banks and also a solution metrics, because without a use case, AI is just some fancy words. So we're trying to deep dive and implement the product into the real use case to solve the problems. So for us, currently, we cover several decision-making use case on the KYC onboarding, marketing, cross-sales, credit service, and transactional anti-fraud. So for our clients in different banks like acquirer, issuer, and lenders. So most of the bank actually using our AI solutions, and then after that, they provide to their clients, for example, large corporates like Ajinomoto in Thailand, and there are a lot of car manufacturing companies. So, for example, today we are talking about collaborations. Like yesterday, Mr. Governor mentioned there are 4 basic principles. So there is one principle talking about how can we link the different players in the industry, and then trying to make the efficiency, make the collaboration, empower the capabilities. So we actually in the middle to help on the bank's AI solution. And if we are talking about AI or technology, there are a lot of things we can't simply change, because some of the solution actually using for probably 50 years. And for us, what we are doing is trying to start from the data layer. We connect the different data layer and transform the data into the knowledge. So we are using knowledge graph technology for financial sectors. And after the knowledge, we actually share what will be the use case, what is the decision, trying to make automate decisions and make the bank become a self-drive car. So the bank can drive themselves without any human being, but also including their policy, their rules. So some of the corporate solutions that will be much more efficiency. For example, like collaboration, we're talking about like infrastructure, the regulator actually making some rules. For example, like PromptPay QR. So since from 2 years ago, the banks actually start to implement the different QR on the C2C transfer or B2C payments. And for us, we're doing a few more steps, for example, like the corporate supply chain and the distribution channels. So we're trying to make the money transfer become much more easier and much more safe. Beyond than that, we can even forecast on how will be the settlement and the transfer happens in the different area, and doing some predictions on the efficiency, especially on the goods delivered. So for the data layer, we can actually include the bank's data, which is internal data, and also there are a lot of external data. External data, for example, like currency exchange, like even weather, like some economic attributes. So we include internal data and external data to make instant decisions. So the bank actually can, based on their policy and the risk preference to start to training on the engines. So we are actually providing the engines to the bank, and the bank's efficiency just empower with the different corporations on the financial services, on the supply chain, on the payment related. So there is one use case for our client, Kongsberg Bank. So I actually hide most of the sensitive numbers. But for Kongsberg, after using our payment-related solutions, they empower about more than 70 local corporate giants. So this number is just for last year, because this is a last year data. And for small SME, the number is increased like almost double. And before using us, the onboarding of small merchants, small SME speed, and after using us, relevantly improve almost 4 times. And the people they using reduce from 13 to 3 people to manage the different payment channels. So I think bank is the center of different industries. So we're trying to empower with the switch on the capabilities. So definitely the banks will providing faster services. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Andy. So we've heard a lot of interesting concepts, especially the decision engine and also technologies. Now let's hear about real use cases from everyone. Let's start with Sharon first. As a technology firm focusing on blockchain and DLT, what do you think of the statement that blockchain is a promising technology, but it's still very early stages and it's still immature? How would you respond to that statement?
I do not agree with it.
I didn't say it. I heard it.
Yeah. Instead, I'm actually seeing the industry maturing with live application. Going from, we see a lot of customers who build application which gone from POC and pilots to production stage. Okay, so I just want to show it here. So if you go to the R3 Marketplace, the website's marketplace.r3.com, you can actually see more than 100 applications, which we call CODA applications, being built by our partners and customers. So these solutions actually covers across different, you can see from this screen, we try to squeeze everything in. And these code apps actually cover across different industries, from capital markets, finance, real estate, oil and gas, insurance, healthcare, trade, and telecommunications. So it's not limited to financial industry. Financial services is actually meant for all businesses and enterprises, and we can see different use cases in different industries.
Thank you very much. Can you show us the actual blockchain use cases, and how would you enhance collaboration among the participants in the network?
Sure. So I just want to highlight 3 use cases, just to show how it's applicable to you, the corporates, the banks, our customers. So the first example is one from Australia. Westpac together with Austria, with their partner Infosys, they built a steel supply chain solution, and it actually provides demand forecasting and inventory management for their key corporates, Austria and Iluka. So it has actually helped them improve the way that they do businesses. The second example that I wanted to highlight is actually a live application in Thailand. So some commercial bank has built a procure-to-pay application for their key corporate, Siam Cement Group. And this solution, the implementation partner was Accenture, and they actually built this solution to help the corporates to improve the procurement process, and it's reduced resources in the process by 50%. Another one I want to highlight is Project Voltron. This is an industry initiative to transform the documentary trade business using blockchain technology. It's running on Coda. We have banks, we have about more than 10 banks, corporates, doing live pilots in it, and one of the founding member is Bangkok Bank, and I think Pintuwan will showcase on it later. So this is to, it has helped, we have done a few pilots on this, and it has shown that we have improved the letters of credit process from more than 20 days to just within 1 day. So these are some examples of how blockchain technology can help you, the corporates, to sort of improve your business process and also explore digital transformation, bring digital transformation into your company.
Thank you so much. I think those are good examples for blockchain use cases in supply chain and trade finance. So I think that brings us nicely to Kun Pintuwan, because you were mentioned as Bangkok Bank, and along with some other commercial banks I saw from the logos. So could you please share with us, how does the bank use new technology, could be blockchain or something else, or collaborate with tech companies or other stakeholders in developing products and services that could serve as corporate solutions?
Yes, thank you. Before I'm talking about use case, I just want to talking about what are the benefits of blockchain in general. During the past, since yesterday, a lot of people heard about blockchain already, but I just want to summarize that, what blockchain brings us. First is consensus. So all the parties on the network, before we conduct the transactions and after we conduct the transactions, everybody consents with all the whole transactions. And then the data is synchronized to all parties in real time. And because of this, the real-time network data sharing, we can benefit from that. And all the data is encrypted, so the security is one of the highest security in all technology. With all of this, we can benefit by, we can use this to enhance the trade risk mitigation. As Sharon mentioned that, first R3, when they start, is I think the different investment bankers get together and try to understand why they can, or how they can use blockchain in the financial. And later on, when they look around, they realize that there are no platform that suits for financial industry. So that's why Corda was developed. And with Corda, we can use that to enhance the risk mitigation and trade finance. And because we're going to talk about next how it's going to improve the working capital. But one thing that we have to emphasize is the paperless. At this moment, all the paper still have to send around the world because it's the lack of trust and transparency. Without paper, we believe it's going to improve the cost efficiency. The UN SCAP already did the research, and they found that within only Asia Pacific alone, if we can decrease the use of paper about 25%, it's going to decrease the cost about $600 million US. So it's going to help us lower the cost of transaction as well. Then the speed, the convenience, and it will come along with the whole transactions. The use case that I'm going to use today is about trade finance. Just pick up from what Sharon talking about, the Project Voltron. With Bangkok Bank, we join different projects, different initiatives. Today, we're going to talk about trade finance. Before I'm talking about the use case, I just want to show the pain point of what we have today. If you were here yesterday, we talked about payment connectivities. And it's hard enough for buyer and seller to close the deals. And what is even harder is to make sure that they get paid. And there's a bigger fundamental difference between seller and buyer. The seller, they want to make sure that they get paid what they shipped. And the buyer want to make sure that they get the good what they pay for. And sometimes they lack of trust of both parties. That's why we have to, at this moment we use paper sometimes it's used as the document to show the ownership. And for domestic, the paper may come in the form of a purchase order or an invoice, and paper that issued by the logistic company that show who still own the product. And when you go to international, the problem is even bigger, and it's even more complex because you have more parties involved in the whole ecosystem. You have customs, you have insurance company, and you have all the different agencies who need to issue different certificates to show what the goods that has been shipped is what we're looking for. And all of this paper has to be created, checked, reconciled. When they move around the world, every parties who touch the paper have to make sure that they get what they expect. And then we have fraud, we have financial duplications. So all the complex process that already very complex, we have to add more procedures to check all of this. So with Bangkok Bank, we participate in different projects. First one is BCI, Blockchain Community Initiative. I think their booth is just in front of the hall. This is an initiative that's supported by Bank of Thailand. That is what I said earlier, that Bank of Thailand did a great job to support all the banking in Thailand, that we can work together. So BCI was formed to focus on, to drive the innovation, to drive a collaboration with the bank in Thailand. And I think, as far as I understand, this is the first time in the world that 22 banks come together on the same blockchain platform. And the first product is the ELG, Electronic Letter of Guarantee. So all the applications and the LG initiation is already eliminated. So this is BCI. As I said, and at this moment there are 22 commercial banks, both domestic, local banks, and also foreign banks joined together on the same platform, first time in the world. And ELG is the first use case. And I think now, for the past few weeks, you will hear a lot of announcements from different banks that they start using ELG. And also different government entities also join in. And I believe that we will see a lot of different use cases on BCI in the near future. Next is the Project Voltron. Just pick up from what Sharon just mentioned. LC is exactly what I just said. At this moment, there is no trust between buyer and seller. And if you talk about cross-continent, cross-country, we still have to send the paper to show the ownerships, to show that the buyer's going to get what they pay for around the world. So what we're trying to do is we're going to move all the documentation that we need for the letter of credit or documented credit to blockchain. And by doing that, we also have to add other party in the ecosystem, for example, Moderator or ASEAN. These are the two major providers of electronic bill of lading. Besides invoice, packing list, certificate, and all that, electronic bill of lading is one of the most important documents that still have to ship around the world to show the titlerships from the seller to the buyer. So if we can move this to blockchain, it's going to eliminate a lot of paper. So we can be really 100% paperless. And as Sharon mentioned, there are a lot of people in the ecosystem that we need to work with. CryptoBlock is the software developer of Project Voltron, and they're going to help support on the node setup and the node setting for both bank and corporates. At this moment, we have 8 founding banks and growing. These are the name of the banks that we are allowed to say. Bangkok Bank is still the only Thai bank, and we hope we will see more names, more Thai banks' name as part of founding banks. The diagram that you see here just to show simple diagram of who else in the ecosystem. When we conduct trade finance, we have to involve with a lot of people. I just want to show the use case. Earlier this year, we conduct the live test with the real blockchain. So the LC has been really issued on blockchain, and the good has been shipped between Thailand and Indonesia. So the seller is GC Marketing, is the chemical flagship of PTT Thailand. The buyer is PT Bukit Mega in Indonesia. Everything is conducted on blockchain from end to end. And because we use blockchain, everything can be updated simultaneously. Instead of the data flow from the buyer to open the LC, go to the bank, and then from the issuing bank to the advising bank and to the seller. Because of blockchain technology, every party can be notified in real time. And all of this, these are the benefits that we have concluded. First is transparency. Everything conducted on blockchain is very transparent. It happens real time. And paperwork reduction is less than half that we can decrease. And the timing, this is unbelievable. To open the LC, it can be done. 4 parties notify and confirm within we say 24 hours because it's like one day. But actually, what happened is only 3 hours. Everybody on the blockchain are notified. So all 4 parties. And at the time of present the document, it's also happened in only 3 hours. The customer is very happy. So we plan to go live by early of next year. When we talk about trade finance, we just touch domestic and documentary trade. But 80% of global trade finance is on open accounts. Project Marco Polo was developed by a company called TradeIX. At this moment, you saw 12 founding banks. And there are some other banks in different regions join in. At this moment, we almost about 25 banks joining. Marco Polo try to move away from paper completely, and everything is, we try to build the network of the bank. And what we try to offer to the customer is first is the receivable finance. You heard yesterday about access to funding. So we're going to provide funding to the parties. And other solution is payment commitment. LC is very expensive, and it still use a lot of papers. What we want to do is the customer who don't want to use LC would like to do purely on open account, but they're still skeptical about the risk of getting paid. So Marco Polo is going to also offer the payment commitment as well. Yeah, this is my use case.
Thank you so much. Those are 2 interesting use cases in fintech for corporate solutions, especially the ones that are very paper heavy and based on actually lack of trust, like your examples are very clear, letter of guarantee and trade finance. So those are very interesting use cases. Thank you. So let's move forward to Kun Taveesuk. In the energy industry, of course, it has been using technologies for its operations. But in this digital era, what are the specific technologies, especially in fintech, that PTT prioritizes?
Okay, I try to bring some initiative that might related in this event. So the first is like blockchain. I would like to like not to talk too much because everyone here knows about like ELG because of it would like improve our like stakeholder experience too much. We believe that if we implement this, so our stakeholder can like get like maybe LG from change from like maybe a week in just a minute. So we believe it's very, very benefit for our stakeholder. So PTT and PTT group would be like the non-banking that will join like the BCI first phase. It might be like go live with BCI on like the quarter of this year, right? And then I've tried to move to other initiative. We try to use like the blockchain in many areas. The second is because we have like tried to encourage our employee to like manage about the waste. So we implement like the blockchain for PTT we call PTT Green Token. So if our employee would like bring the waste, it would be like the bottle or whatever, like the waste, and then put and to like some department that take care on like this green, then our employee will get like the token, and when they get like some amount of token, then they can redeem the token with some award, something like that. So like this is like the gimmick that using blockchain in our organization. And the third one is like the thing that PT try to like use blockchain in our related business, because of right now we understand that the energy will change from like the gasoline or like the fossil to like the solar or like the alternative energy. So the customer would use like the energy will change their role because of they can produce the energy. Right now, like people can like install like the solar on their rooftop, and then they can produce the energy. And if they have, sorry, they can sell the energy to the grid. So PTT tried to build like the blockchain for like the smart grid. Yeah, right. To ensure that if like our governance open like the grid, then we can ready to join like the grid using like the blockchain technology. And another part for like the corporate, we, as I mentioned, that there's a lot of process that technology can help. So we are now trying to implement RPA, robot process automation, to reduce some process that right now we use people to do, such as like loading information or checking the document in between some system or across the system. So we implement like the robotic process automation that this bot can check automatically in between the system instead of using people. So right now we implement in financial chat service, and the result is very good. We can reduce more than 80% of process time reduced using like the RPA. And this is like a good thing that we are trying to extend another process that using RPA. And the last, we try to like reduce some like the process and or improve the experience for like the people connect with like the call center, because of like for call center might be like some busy or waiting time to like respond to the call, and then we introduce like the chatbot to answering maybe like employee or our customer, then the bot can answering some like the frequency question instead of using like the call center people to answer. So it's very useful for like the people using like this service. So this is the thing that I try to share with you.
Thank you so much. We see that there are many technologies that you're using. Some are specific to the industry. Some can actually be applicable by any corporates, like the RPA to enhance the automation of work processes, as well as ELG. Also, I believe BCI welcome more participating members, and as well as something like chatbot that any corporate can decide to use as well. So let's move to Kun Andy. Maybe if you can give us an example for about 3 minutes of how your company, as a company that focuses on digital banking and, as you mentioned, intelligent banking solutions. Please share with us how your company responds to the dynamic business requirements in this competitive financial sector. How do you help your customers to achieve their corporate? What are the real use cases?
Okay, firstly, I'm thinking on the technology is a accelerator to empower with the enterprise or the banks in the different use case. So definitely the use case is the most important. So for us, we are not only focused for AI, but also in the data analytics, and also there are a lot of several solutions which we trying to solve the problem in the real use case. So in terms of payment or financial services, so the different technology actually providing a different angle on how can we solve the problem. So firstly, I would like to mention about the data fragmentation. So in the different enterprise, the data actually is separate by different system and different department, even different entities. So we're trying to leverage how can we make a real-time response on how, make a real-time response on the financial decisions. And secondly, for the prediction part, so AI actually the main feature is on what will be the future and how can we respond on the future decisions. So we doing a lot of analytics on how is the market and how is the fraud detection, how is the risk and the analysis of the user. So during a user come to the bank, actually no matter a small enterprise or a large enterprise, so we're actually doing a quick analysis on what is the risk and what is the analysis, what is the opportunity to the bank. And the bank actually can offering redirect the user to different departments. So the right financial services will be offering to the user.
Thank you very much. And we've seen so many use cases from the panelists and already how fintech has helped create corporate solutions. So let's look forward. So this is going to be the last question. So maybe if you can spend a few minutes to talk about what you see as the fintech corporate solutions that are coming up in the near future, and how do you foresee how you can help create collaboration among the relevant stakeholders in the network or in the market to help create that corporate solution to become a reality. Okay, so let's start with who wants to start? There are pros and cons of starting first and ending last. Maybe I'll just probably from here until the very end. Okay, please, Kun Taveesuk.
Okay, for PTT, we believe that digital transformation is very important. And then I would like to focusing, if we would like to success on like digital transformation program, it's not like finish it in 1 day or 1 year. It's take more than 2 or 3 years. For ExxonMobil, it takes more than 10 years. We need to like continuous doing and improve. So the thing that is the key success factor is like we need to clear what's the digital transformation goals, and we need the support from our executive, might be the CEO. Tone from the top is very needed. And then, the quality of the data you need for like the corporate need to have like the system and also like utilize the data and like squeeze the data and analyze the data, and then we might know like what's the inside of data, and might be like have like maybe like the new business model, such as like our industry peers, such as like maybe ExxonMobil or Shell, that try to diverse their business from like energy to be like the new one. Yeah, and the next is maybe like the new way of working that Kun Pintuwan also mentioned, right? That we need to like change the way of working, change the workplace. How can we move fast? How can we, organization can respond to like the quick impact or the change, the quick change. And the last is like the long-term strategy investment also like need to rethink about maybe technology, that would be need to readjust, because right now we might like need some venture capital or startup to be bring here and use in our organization. And the last thing is the people, because technology is not like the big thing. If the people do not understand what they can bring is or what they can use is, so we need to maybe have a program to like reskill and upskill the people, because of in our organization we have many kind of generation. For like the new generation, it's not too hard to change them to use like digital, but there is like many kind of generation that, such as like 101, that we not to leave them back, right? So we have to like have a program to reskill and upskill them, right? To be the one in our organization that can use digital. This is like the thing that very important.
Thank you so much. What about Sharon?
On your question with regards to technology, what we are seeing is also a lot of partners is incorporating AI and IoT to solve with blockchain to come up with solutions that help corporates in areas like provenance, track and trace. So these are some of the things that we see are going forward. Ultimately, I believe blockchain technology is dependent on a network effect. And at R3, we offer a thriving ecosystem of more than 300 companies to drive industry-wide collaboration. So we believe support and implementation is key for a successful delivery. Support and delivery is very important. Having a right partner to give you that support, is crucial. So feel free to reach out to us if you have any question. R3 always believe our partners and customers' success are also our success. Thank you.
Thank you. Kun Pintuwan.
Yes, actually, both Kun Taveesuk and Sharon already sum up a lot of good points already. What I just want to add is there are no one technology suits for all the problems. So pick the right solutions for the right problems. Maybe there is a mix of different technologies, like maybe blockchain, AI. So and I think the most important thing is you have to start trying, get in. So you can think big and then start small, fail fast, and then you can learn from what you have tried. So at least you know that that solution might not work. So I think the most important thing is to start early and try to get in. At this moment, there is a lot of help, a lot of support in Thailand that can allow people to get in this whole innovation, this whole collaboration and transformation.
Thank you so much. And last but not least, Andy.
Okay, like the other panelists mentioned, to utilize the data and the connections and squeeze the data to get a real-time or fast decisions or fast response for the business decisions. So this is what Silot doing in the past 2 years, and we empower more and more retail and commercial banks in different regions. So if you are interested on how can we utilize the data to make the bank become a self-drive bank, so come looking for us. Thank you.
Thank you so much. I think that sums up nicely this session. And I hope that today's talk has inspired you to embrace digital solutions to achieve your business goals in this highly competitive era. And the stories that our panelists have shared, I'm sure it also reaffirms the importance of collaboration among stakeholders in integrating fintech to successfully create corporate solutions. So with that, I hope you have enjoyed the panel, and please give a big round of applause to our wonderful panelists.